I developed these 7 C's after some 40 years of experience in running a business where I recognized that I just did a poor job of hiring people, and the result was often I ended up with the wrong person, or I had to terminate the person, or they left early for some reason. And so I went back to try and understand why in the world I was just not having a good batting record here. My score was terrible. It was under 50%. And so I started to do some study to try and understand more about the hiring of people. And I recognized that I had generally hired people based upon a job description and measured them against some level of competency. And I soon recognized that that was a good start, but it certainly was not the end, and there was much more to learn about an individual before they were hired, and therefore there are 7 C's, competent 1, but 6 more on top of that. Competency is really important at the start. It's obviously the first characteristic of my 7 C's, and that is that you need to hire somebody who's going to be in a position to achieve results based upon a job description. There's certain things that you've written up, things that they have to be able to do in terms of an assignment. And so we have what we call a job description. And so the person that you want to hire can best do that job. They're the one that have certainly the experience, the strengths, the skills. They are in a position to just come in and get this job done for you and do it at the highest possible proficiency, productivity rate. So competency really is the starting place for that type of an assignment, is get them, hire them, make sure they stay with you, but hire competent people. I want to now start to the second C, and that is the word capable, of hiring somebody now who basically not only will come in and do the job, but they have the ability to be innovative, take the job to a new level, be creative, actually be in a position where they could be promoted. And I think of a young man that worked for me at MarketStar that started on a loading dock at a retail firm, came to work at MarketStar in our sales organization, and he came in, I was told, as a rock star, and sure enough he was. He was capable. He took his first job, was promoted to the next, and so on, and eventually oversaw a very large piece of business. And eventually that large client hired him. He continued to show capability, innovation, went beyond the call of duty, and now he's a vice president of a large national retail chain. And it was just, for me, the perfect example of somebody who was competent, but they had this wonderful ability to go beyond what we expected. Yeah, the third C is compatibility, and for me it's one of the more powerful things that has to be considered, and it's the one where I made the biggest mistakes. Compatibility has to do with your personalities, getting along with one another, having some harmony. Of course you can disagree on matters of business, but that you somehow have an affection, a regard, and you're able to just move beyond certain issues in a business. So compatibility is this ability to have a harmony and get along with one another. But I'll tell you, where I fired most people was I just couldn't get along with them. And for me, as I make this recommendation on compatibility, it would be always for you to look and hire people with whom you can have this great relationship in a tough business environment. The fourth C is commitment, and clearly this is a very important attribute and a characteristic that you're looking for in the people you're going to hire. And it really means that they're going to stay with you. They're not just kind of passing through. They're not there waiting for the next best job to come along. They're there for a long season of time to come in and be productive and take care of things within your business. And you're going to want to make sure that you don't hire those who are there just for the short term. You want to look to hire the ones who are going to be with you for the long term. And I can reflect back on employees that I've had and know of people where even after they left a job, they were so committed to being helpful to the company, they would stay. Once they'd even gone, they would come back and help fellow employees finish off a task. Well, that's a kind of a key indicator of people who are willing to stay with your assignment, even through thick and thin, even through downtimes, even when they don't get a raise. You want to find people who are there, who will stay, and they're committed to making sure that their obligation is met. They're trying to be productive no matter what. the next C is, number 5 is character. And you're looking for people who aren't characters, they actually have values, they have within them the ability to do things at the highest level of human behavior. You're looking for people with integrity, that are honest, that keep their word, keep their promises, aren't doing things that are self-dealing. These are people that have high values. And in the case of my life, I've run into employees we've terminated because they were dishonest. They stole from us. They didn't tell us the truth. They lied. They harmed our customers with their behavior. Now, if you look then at the people you want to hire, you want to make sure they are people of high character and they're in a value stream in their lives where they can do things that are going to keep them and their associates at the highest possible level. Number 6 is culture. Culture is basically how we treat one another. It's our behavior. Where there's 2 or more people, there's a culture. There's a culture in your home, in your school, where you go to church, in your community, and particularly where you work, there's a culture. And what I'm arguing for here is companies have cultures, and there's a way that they do things. And within your business, you want to establish a culture where people can come and be happy at work, where they're productive, where they know they're well regarded and respected. And you have within that culture a way to take care of not only that employee who's most important to you, but also to take care of the customers who actually come in and buy your products and services. So culture is extremely important. You need to hire people that match up with your culture. You need to know what your culture is. Those employees need to know what that is, and you need to know that they will indeed come in and behave as you expect. All right, the 7th C is compensation, and this is the last but almost as important as all the other ones, and that is that you're going to hire somebody and you want to pay them the right marketable wage so that obviously you can attract them, but also so that they recognize that they're coming in, they're being paid what they think they should receive. It's not then just the base wage, but it's also then the other benefits that are on top of that in terms of insurance or education or profit sharing or stock options, whatever they might be. But you need to make sure as you hire people that they agree to what you're offering, that eventually after a few months in the business they sour on you because they didn't get what they thought. You want to make sure that that agreement, that arrangement, that contract with them is such that they're very happy with it and you're likewise very happy in extending that particular compensation package to them. I've shared with you the 7 C's of hiring, and I hope they're valuable to you. What I have learned in my own experience of now bringing all these 7 C's together is I'm much more productive and I have a higher batting average, if you will, of now hiring the right people because I'm asking all the right questions that pertain to an employee coming in and being the right employee, one that we can take care of and we can retain for the long term. So I think you'll find great value in using these 7 C's when you interview candidates for the next position that you have open.